I'm gonna have such insulin come down after not eating carbs and so on and having that sugar crash.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. I changed it too. I can hear stuff and not in the field too.
Should have just kept last night.
Yes, you can change it.
Grace, can you see some places?
Yeah. Whereas it's classic. And I changed it to compact too. So like this gets it. And it's black writing instead of black. Oh, yeah. I saw that on
Alright, we're just setting up. We'll start the webinar off soon. Just checking our sound levels and everything. So we'll come back in a second. Righty ho, let's get started. Welcome to our webinar. We're going to talk a little bit about how you can elevate your holiday sales. Mainly focusing around Black Friday, Cyber Monday, but Christmas. That's sort of a crucial sort of period for sales for a lot of retailers. It's where they kind of make your money. So we'll sort of go in and have a look at a few tactics that you can use to sell some more over that period. A little bit about Unbound. So we're a digital marketing agency based in Hamilton. We're a Google Premier partner, only one of about 23 in New Zealand. And we're the only Google Premier partner outside of Auckland in New Zealand. We're a specialist ads and analytics agency, so we focus primarily on helping clients with their online advertising and tracking that advertising to make it more effective. So we're a team of expert strategists and campaign managers. As I said, all dedicated to getting results from the ads. And we work with some of the top companies in New Zealand across a range of different industries. And one of our big sort of sectors is that retail and e-commerce space. So little bit about me, Quentin. I've been in the advertising marketing industry for over 17 years. Certified sort of in analytics and Google Ads. That's kind of really where I sort of cut my teeth in digital. Love a good coffee. Beer aficionado, and max 250k deadlift. Do a little bit of powerlifting as well in my spare time. So if you've got any questions, feel free to chuck them in the chat. Just so at very least I can know that the chat's actually working, and that I can answer those questions when we get to those bits where you need them. Righty ho. So today what we're going to cover, we're going to talk a little bit about what Black Friday is and Cyber Monday for those that maybe haven't had a bit too much experience with it. We'll talk a little bit about planning, how to plan for those Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and even sort of the Christmas sales period. How to optimize your website for the sale event. Talk about some Google Ads strategies that you can use to sell more. How you can optimize your site for organic search. We've also got some email hints and tips, how to get the most out of that. That's one of our big questions we sort of get asked, how much should we be emailing customers. Some social media stuff, social media advertising, and also some organic stuff you can be doing to sort of build engagement with your existing customers. And analytics, how do you track success? How do we know that we're actually getting the results that we want? And then we've got a case study which we're going to talk about someone that did a Black Friday sale last year, and then we'll sort of jump into some Q&As if you've got any particular questions that you want to ask. So we'll jump into it. So Black Friday, basically it originated in the US as a big sales day. Really, it was basically the Friday after Thanksgiving, and sort of marked that sort of starting point in the US for their kind of holiday shopping season. The US been doing it for a fairly long time, and it's sort of only really picked up probably in the last 3 or 4 years in New Zealand, where it's become a big sort of holiday sales event. And the whole Black Friday, Cyber Monday kind of merge into one sort of sale, where typically the Black Friday was a 1 day sort of sales event on the Friday after Thanksgiving, and the Monday was the kind of the online Cyber Monday online sales thing with all the e-com sales. But New Zealand, doing a little bit different. We're sort of doing kind of just a one sale. Black Friday, Cyber Monday is kind of one sales event where typically sales will end on that Monday. So some sort of stats. So New Zealand Post started. New Zealand Post does a lot of kind of e-commerce sort of surveys and stuff like that. So for the Black Friday last year, there's $550 million spent over that kind of sales period, in November. And then, there was $4.5 million in in-store spending over that period. So obviously a lot of, kind of online, but also, a lot of offline happening as well. So Shopify globally see Black Friday, Cyber Monday is around $6.1 billion US dollars in sales, and that was from their 2021 sort of data. So obviously massive kind of opportunity both in New Zealand and obviously internationally. So important to make sure that you're you're jumping on top of it. So, and we're sort of seeing also that like the Christmas period over time is sort of diminishing, where Black Friday is sort of becoming a bigger and bigger sort of sale day. So this is kind of November over the previous year. So we can sort of see 2019 sort of not that big, but then 2020 a little bit bigger, and 2021 a lot bigger during that period, and then it sort of dropped back last year a little bit. Obviously 2021 was where we had like a lot of those lockdowns and stuff, so a lot of people sort of shopping online and in that period. So it's important to plan. Obviously starting earlier is better. Really a case of like starting now, or have already started with the plan. I know with a lot of our clients we've already got plans underway for that Black Friday, Cyber Monday period, in terms of what activities we've got, what budgets we've got in place for the different ad channels, etc. But it's obviously, in terms of like Google, Google searches, we do see obviously an increase over that period leading up to Black Friday. So people will start researching, what they're going to be doing kind of now. So if you've obviously got some sort of activities in place, you can obviously then look to try and capture some of that initial kind of consideration searches, and I guess kind of considering like what are your goals for for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Do you have any particular revenue targets you want to achieve? Maybe you've done the sale last year. Do you want to look at obviously improving on that this year? So Google sort of sees really that there's 64% growth in category searches and a 53% growth in product searches leading up to Black Friday. So people will start researching sooner. So it's time is kind of start planning now and getting onto it. So you're sort of all of November you're visible with what you're doing sort of around Black Friday. So some of the stuff you can sort of do now if you're not sort of like actually putting up any adverts or putting anything kind of on your site is just kind of thinking about like how you can optimize your website for the sale. So obviously having a fast website is going to be better for conversion rates. So site speed is a critical factor in terms of conversion rates. I've got some stats on that in a minute. Also just looking at like what your sales copy is saying. So with your website you can start planning out some of those Black Friday pages, banners, etc., and making sure you've got those all kind of ready to go. Things like limited time offer, X% sales off, etc., all going to be good. Getting your sort of discount codes all set, ready to go, so that you've got those beforehand and testing them, and obviously getting any promo banners set up, ready to go and behind the scenes, and making sure your mobile website is optimized so that people can actually use those. So it's kind of good to like be looking at mystery shopping your site so that you can actually see what sort of experience your customers are going to get. And the last thing you want to have is Black Friday, everyone's pouring into your site and there's some small glitch or some small roadblock that's stopping people from actually buying from you. So again, planning early, testing all that stuff now. If you're making changes to your site for the Black Friday, maybe look at doing those and testing them before you kind of roll them out for the big event. So as I said, site speed's like obviously one of those critical things to get right. And so here's some sort of data that if you can get your site speed sort of under 2.4 seconds, your conversion rate, this is a study that was done around 1.9%. If the site speed gets up to 3.3, so only 0.9 seconds slower, you can see the conversion rate dropping, and then even up to another sort of second slower, conversion rate dropping below 1%. And then obviously if it's over sort of 5.7 seconds, it's dropped right down. So you can see the amount of sales that you're losing just by having a slow site. And it's not just that the home page that you've got to think about with your site speed. It's about the whole journey. So looking at your product pages, your category pages, different stages of your checkout. If those pages are slow, then that's obviously going to be impacting the conversion rate overall of the site. So just making sure that you're not just looking at the home page and optimizing the home page for speed, but going through testing some of those product pages or category pages or even your checkout to make sure that they're actually going to be fast as well. And at mobile optimization, it probably goes without saying really that having a mobile optimized website in this day and age is super critical. Reports from Shopify sort of show that 71% of all sales came from mobile devices. So making sure you've got that mobile user experience nailed, that people can navigate your site easily, search for things easily, and even making sure that you're testing your mobile site and your desktop site for site speed. That's also critical. And then just having that checkout process, is the checkout process like a nice experience on mobile devices? If you're on things like, Shopify, those platforms like that, those things are sort of fairly locked down, and they've developed them to be a good experience. So, but if you're on some other sites that are maybe a bit more customized, just going through that like early to make sure that you're providing a good experience for your customers. And I mean, I always sort of say, like, look at it from like a mystery shopper point of view. Mystery shop yourself on mobile, mystery shop yourself on desktop. What sort of things are you sort of finding? Could be roadblocks for people buying your product. It's something that we probably don't do enough of in terms of looking at how we're sort of perceived in that sort of world. We'll look at updating our website on a big screen in our office, but we never sort of jump on a mobile device to see how it sort of how you can interact with that. And just start thinking about, like, what is your sale going to be? Like, what sort of offer are you going to have? And then just start thinking about what sort of sales copy you're going to have, and what sort of maybe vouchers or promos you're going to do. I mean, the biggest thing is really about creating a sense of urgency. If you are going to have that sort of a traditional kind of Black Friday over a limited, few days or a week, you sort of want people to know that it is a limited offer. So using words like up to X% off, up to 30% off, 40% off. If you're e-commerce store, free shipping, making sure people are aware that you are providing, if you are providing free shipping, that you are doing it for the offer as well. Is there any sort of price breaks where people get free shipping? Could even be things like bundle savings. Buy 3 get this much off. Buy 2 get this much off. So just thinking about how you're going to sort of offer your sale with the different promotions you're going to do and the language you're going to be using for the offer, so it can also be consistent across your different assets as well. And then just some sort of interesting stuff. If you're discounting products above $100 using the amount off as a discount, where if you're obviously doing below 100, you can use the percentage. The perception is that you're getting a better saving in that respect. And then just thinking about like what sort of cross-selling or upsell. This kind of goes into the bundle opportunities. If you're sort of doing a bundle, have fries with that and a soda, and you're saving a lot of money. And as I said, just auditing that checkout process, there could be some opportunities there with that. Righty ho. So now we sort of start getting into some of those tactics you can be using to build awareness of of your sales. So you've kind of got your site already, you've got your offer locked in. Now, how do you get people finding out about it? How do you get that in front of the right people? So one of those ways, obviously, we're a Google Premier partner, so we do a lot of Google ads, and the sort of, I guess, 4 main types of Google ads that we use to promote sort of in an e-com retail based sort of space is search, shopping, display, and YouTube. And they sort of all work at different stages of that buying funnel. So we've obviously got your kind of YouTube and your display sitting at that top of funnel. If people have never heard of your brand before, they're not a customer, you can get the word out to those people that if they're interested in your particular product category, you can sort of put something in front of them to say, hey, we're doing a Black Friday sale, this is the offer, come and buy from us, and that may lead people to put you on their shopping list. You're then looking at kind of middle of the funnel, and I mean YouTube and display still form up a little bit of that. So people that start shopping and looking at consideration for the products. Again, if they're researching early on for Black Friday, it might be a case of if you're promoting, saying we've got a Black Friday sale coming soon. People are visiting your website to maybe check out what sort of products that you do, for the chance that when your Black Friday sale actually turns on, they'll come back. And then obviously if they're visiting your website, you can look at putting them on a remarketing list, and then obviously building that consideration in the middle of the funnel. But also search, because people might be searching for Black Friday deals, or best deals on your particular category or particular product. So you can put that in front of them in search results. And then finally, that bottom of the funnel, again, where people are looking to buy on that Black Friday, they're looking for those deals. We can have sort of search and shopping, promoting the offer or promoting the products that you've got on special. So it's really about looking at how you can structure your accounts, structure your Google Ads account for Black Friday, because often you don't want to, if you're doing a promotion on a specific category, or a specific list of products, you don't want kind of all your products taking the budget of your shopping campaign. So it's important to obviously look at maybe putting those shopping products into a different campaign, so segmenting those out, and only running sort of a budget for those products you've actually got on sale for that shopping. So all your budget is actually going to those products. So, and just thinking about the targeting strategies, again, like we've got the different stages of that funnel there. So how can you target, so thinking about obviously lists of like remarketing lists, but also things like, is there any kind of affinity list that we can create, custom segments, is there any in-market behavior we can sort of target on? That's obviously good things to think about. And also just how you're going to be bidding on the different, using those different types of ads. So obviously, if there are more people coming into the market in terms of shopping, so if you're running Google Shopping ads and there are more people coming into market, that may impact your bid strategy in Google Shopping. So it's important to make sure you're accounting for that, so that you've got enough budget and you've got enough flexibility in your bid strategy to be able to compensate for that extra competition. And so if you've done Black Friday before, you may know what that looks like. If you haven't, then you just need to be obviously watching those campaigns quite closely, to be looking at potentially adding more budget or changing the bid strategy as you start seeing the sales. So thinking about those sorts of things. And then you're thinking about like what sort of ad extensions or promo extensions you can add. So Google does have some for search ads, promo extensions, which you can sort of add a Black Friday sale. If you're doing a percentage or a dollar off, you can add those, which will come up in the ads. But then if you're using things like site links or call out extensions, or even in your ad text, making sure people are aware of what offer you've got going on. So that's sort of Google Ads. So if you've got any questions, you can wait till the end, or just pop them in the chat now. Happy to answer any of those. So I'll just see if we have got any. Was reloading. We have got any questions yet, or not? Doesn't like it. All good. Right. So audience building. So this is really about making sure that you are actually building an audience for your different ad channels or different marketing channels, and it's sort of crucial really to be doing this in advance. So you should always be looking at building your first party data, so that you can use it for your different marketing activities. So sort of the most basic one is obviously thinking about collecting people's email addresses, so we can actually email them when the offer starts. So having a mechanism perhaps on your website or through other sort of channels to generate that email list. But once you've sort of got those lists, you can then obviously look at creating like lookalike audiences on various channels using that that email list. If people are visiting your website, again, that's data you can do to look at remarketing to those people or retargeting to those people. So if you haven't thought about your audiences yet, again, planning is key here, is getting that sort of organised as soon as possible, so that you've got sort of the next kind of couple of months to build that audience up, so that when you start promoting the sale, you've got something there. I mean, ideally, you're just always looking at building your audience, so that when you do want to turn on a sale like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you've got that sitting there ready to go, that you can just push that out to your customers. And then SEO, again, SEO, it's kind of a critical sort of tactic that you should be using. Thinking about what people are searching for, potentially, Black Friday related deals for your category. So, and sometimes it might be worth having some permanent URLs that are always sitting in the background, building up sort of some SEO, and search traffic, so that when people do start searching for them, Google is going to index them, and you're going to be sort of found. So, using a lot of the SEO best practice, on those. I mean, Google actually do recommend that you have sort of permanent Black Friday, Cyber Monday landing pages. So, it could be / Black Friday sale, / Black Friday deals, etc. So, having that as a dedicated landing page, which you can have, throughout the year. And I mean, again, it could be another mechanism for, collecting people's email addresses, that if you've got a permanent Black Friday page, you could just have at the top of the page, sign up to our mailing list for our next Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale. And then that means that you're sort of killing two birds with one stone, where you're collecting those email addresses from people, and you've got that Black Friday, Cyber Monday landing page as well. But you could also look at doing like bundle or offer landing pages for your Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So if you've got specific bundles that you're wanting to promote, again, you could link those into some of the campaigns that you've got, and sort of setting those up. So that could be around specific products or specific product categories that you're looking at promoting on Black Friday. And also just like looking at optimizing all your product pages for SEO, because again, if people can't find, if they're searching for your product over that Black Friday, Cyber Monday kind of holiday sale period, and your page isn't optimized for that product search, then they're not going to be able to find you. Even if you do have a better price than maybe your competitors, their site might just be more accessible in the search results. So looking at your product page SEO, it's all that sort of same stuff that we talk about with general SEO, making sure that your URL is reflective of the product, having a good product title, so things like including the brand, the product type, the color, even the material. So color could be important, because if someone's looking for a red red running shoe or something like that, then that's going to play into that your one could rank higher than someone else that hasn't mentioned the color, because yours is more relevant for that search. Your heading tags, making sure you've got your meta description, and then having breadcrumbs on the site. So breadcrumbs are these things that link back to your category page. That just helps with like navigation, so people can easily go back to the category page to find another product, because this one maybe wasn't quite what they were looking for. Making sure that you're optimizing the content. So a lot of information in the description about the product. Again, lots of good quality content is better than thin content when it comes to SEO. And some of that could be FAQs. So if there's kind of common questions that people are asking you about your products, you can obviously get FAQs, and then that can obviously have like some subheadings under that with some of those FAQs. making sure you're optimizing images. So optimizing images, both having good high quality images, but also optimizing those images for speed, and then having like obviously alt tags on those so that they're easily accessible to Google to index, and then having product schema. So again, that's just another thing that Google uses to index the page. And reviews, so that's social proof of the product. So those could be Google merchant reviews, or you could use a third party review tool, or even the review tool on your site for that product. But that's just going to give people trust in the product, and Google's kind of going to see that as well, and that's going to all help with the SEO. So that's kind of like a good a good way to build out your sort of product pages. And then obviously having things like clear call to action, secondary calls to action on that page as well. And then jumping into email marketing. Email is sort of like pretty critical when it comes to e-commerce and Black Friday. Leading up to that campaign, we already talked about building your list. As I said, it's super important to be making sure that you're building that list early, finding ways of obviously getting as many people onto that email list that are interested in your product offering as possible. You can potentially even run, like we've done this before with clients, running sort of get 10% off your order if you sign up to our mailing list or something like that, or get $10 off your order, and running Facebook display campaign for that sort of thing, because then that will get those people onto your email list. They obviously get something in return for giving that information, but then when it comes to doing your sales like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you obviously got like a list that you can easily push the offer out to with additional savings. So really the thing is, with email marketing, it's to create that sense of urgency. Tell people when the offer ends. So using a timer in your email could be quite good. Like this is when our sale ends, because there's nothing worse than obviously someone seeing that you've got a sale, remembering, that's right, I was going to get that such and such, and they go back to the email and they find, the sale's finished. I didn't know it finished. So making sure that people are aware of when the sale finishes, so that they can actually plan to come back if they're not coming back directly off the email. Do you have limited stock? Letting people know this is only on the first 5, only on the first 10, etc. Using the Black Friday in the headlines, people will be thinking, waiting for that to come through. Like, what deals have you got for Black Friday? So using, here's our Black Friday offer, once a year Black Friday deals. And just really keeping the emails to the point. Don't try and put too much information about, all sorts of other stuff. Basically just getting through, what the deal is, when it ends, what products are on sale, and a clear call to action so that people can, click the email and come through to the Black Friday landing page or the bundle page or the whatever page you've set up for that. And one thing I sort of see is, people just sending one email out to their list for Black Friday, kind of the week before. It's kind of not good enough. Emails typically have about a 17% open rate, so you kind of think about that. If you've got a list of 100 people, only 17 people are going to open that email to see what the offer is. But you're going to have a higher chance of success if you're sending multiple emails leading up to that, the Black Friday event, because that's just going to compound. You're going to get 17% open on one, 17% potentially those same people, but also new people opening in the next one. So if you're sending out sort of, half a dozen kind of emails in November leading up to your Black Friday, you're going to get a higher chance that people are going to know what your deals are for Black Friday, and hopefully that's going to convert into more sales. And also just having an abandoned cart strategy. So this may be a change to your current abandoned cart, because hopefully if you've got e-commerce, you've got an abandoned cart set up on your current site. You may obviously just want to change that or modify that a bit over Black Friday, and again, that's just in the sake of creating the urgency or potentially promoting the offer, the Black Friday offer. That, you know, if people have less stuff in the cart, kind of saying, hey, you know, you less stuff in the cart, these products are on special. If you don't kind of come back and buy these before X date, you are going to miss out on this offer. This is our kind of, you know, once a year kind of Black Friday sale, etc. So just be thinking about those sort of things with your email marketing when you're going through that. Social media, you know, really looking at creating a bit of hype around the event. You know, you could start teasing what you're kind of doing for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. You know, potentially showing some kind of behind the scenes stuff. You know, if you are ordering in some sort of extra products, you know, sort of taking some sort of pictures of the shelves kind of filling up as you're bringing in the special product for Black Friday. And that's just kind of like, you know, gonna create that sense of like, you know, this is going to be something special, this is going to be something that we're like really planning for, you know, and then you could also look at obviously, you know, running competitions, like I was saying earlier, you know, with the 10% off your first order, or, you know, sign up to a mailing list to get, you know, XYZ, or be the first to find out about our offer, whatever it might be. So, you know, it's obviously something that you can do now to try and build up that list. So promoting your email list through the social media, and then just thinking about how you can keep your messaging fresh. You know, if you are sort of looking at phasing it out, you know, throughout November as you go into Black Friday, making sure that you've got something new, different and fresh. You're not just kind of always just harping on that, you know, you've got this deal every week. You know, people will sort of like get bored of the message, especially if it's through the social media organic sort of channels. So making sure that you have got that plan in place and your messaging is going to be sort of clear with that. And then sort of tying it all together is your analytics. So, you know, just having a think about what are those key performance metrics that you want to be tracking. So, you know, is it going to be sales, you know, revenue, conversion rates, you know, site visitors, add to carts, you know, just having those, and I guess just, you know, keeping an eye on those over that Black Friday sale period that you're doing. You know, it's obviously making sure that you've got those, because you don't really want to be running with your eyes closed when you start looking at things like the bids and budgets of your campaigns, because if you can sort of see that your sales are working, you know, and you may want to look at increasing your budgets partway through on, you know, Facebook, TikTok, you know, Google Ads, etc. If you can see that your conversion rates are good and your sales are good, your return on investment on those is working really well. So you're not going to be missing out on those sales. So you can sort of get to midday on Friday and think, I need to put some more budget into this because the metrics are looking good. Or, you know, if you are running it over the weekend or whatever it might be, you know, getting to Saturday, I need to put more budget into this because, you know, sales are really going really well. And also the other side is just budgets. You know, if you aren't seeing that, you know, the impression share that you're wanting, because, you know, there's a bit more competition over that period, making sure that you've got the metrics in place to know when to increase those budgets. You know, and it's really about just stoking that fire. If you are seeing things working and the numbers are heading in the right direction, you know, making sure that you are increasing bids and increasing budgets over that time. And then if you haven't looked at a buy now, pay later service, you know, sort of stats show that sites that have buy now, pay later, you know, did over $1.7 million in sale through e-commerce last year. So it's, you know, it does, people do, you know, do use that as a way of paying for things in e-com. So if you haven't looked at it as a service, then I'd look at that as another option for people to buy through your site. So if we kind of look at an example, we've been running ad campaigns for Boyd motorcycles for 11 years, 12 years, something like that. So a long time. I mean, I guess probably in the last 3 we've kind of got pretty serious with the Black Friday. It's probably one of their now 2 biggest sales that they do every year. So they do a big kind of annual sale, and they do Black Friday. They sell both inline and in store. So people who are local will kind of see the deals and then go in store to buy them. And some of the products that they do sell, motorcycle helmets, some of the apparel, people like to go in and buy those in store. So typically how they work is they've got dozens of products that they will do specials on, which are kind of like those heavy discounted products, but then they'll also do other discounts across the store. So the dozen or so products that they've got the big discounts on, they'll use those as kind of their key promotional items to kind of push out. They'll try and get a range of products across a number of different categories, and they'll also have a limited number of those products. So they're really kind of going into like big savings, limited number. So the messaging that they do is kind of down both those sort of channels that you talked about earlier. So again, it's a good example of someone doing it right. And we've sort of seen, we see kind of that massive spike up in sales from kind of previous weeks. If we took November, October, an average week, we're sort of seeing 130% increase in sales, 89% increase in conversion. So, huge increase in conversion rate. People are kind of sitting back waiting for the sale to happen and then buying. And then obviously, huge increase in sort of online transactions. So really sort of our plan of attack is, again, all the stuff that we've talked about. We did a Black Friday landing page, which kind of we put up sort of beginning of November, so that people, if they were coming to the site, could see that it was going to be a Black Friday sale on. On that page, it had a call to action for people to sign up to the newsletter. And so those people that were signing up were going to be the first to know when the Black Friday sale started. And then we changed out all their search ads. So we ran pretty much the Tuesday before Black Friday through to the Monday. So it's pretty much a full week of sales. But we started, a couple of weeks before running ads to say, Black Friday sale starting on this date, and changing out all our search ads with the Black Friday ad creative, doing the promotion extensions that we talked about so that people could see what sort of discounts there were on Black Friday for the different categories. With the shopping ads, we segmented all the products that were on sale, got a tag in the back end system, and then we created a separate Black Friday shopping ad campaign that all the products that had that tag were added into that, and then we dedicated budget just to the shopping ads for Black Friday. And then we ran display ads, YouTube ads, Facebook ads with the Black Friday ad creative on there, so people could see products and savings for Black Friday. They also ran obviously their email marketing campaign, again messaging people quite frequently about Black Friday coming soon, Black Friday kind of like on this week, Black Friday on now, Black Friday sale ending soon, don't miss out. And they also, because they are online and in store, on that Sunday, obviously they have quite a big day because people are still buying products from the ads that we're running and the emails that we're running, because they can't come in store, so they can just buy online. And then also did an SMS push, so people that do have that facility can also use that as a channel. I haven't talked about it in the rest of this, but that's another good way of obviously pushing out the message to your customers, and that gets quite a high open rate. So if you've got that as an option, that's another good way of getting message out to your database. So this is the sort of ad creative that they had. We sort of have a different creative theme every year. This kind of had the neons. So that's kind of a static display ad with a product that they were selling. But then they also had a video ad which ran through the different products Showcasing some of the savings of some of their featured products, sort of almost kind of half off on the jacket, etc. So, and then again, that same creative across the different ad channels. So that's kind of us. Does anyone have any sort of questions they want to put into the chat? Happy to answer any of those if you've got them. Just checking to make sure I've got seeing the chat, making sure that I'm not missing out on any questions being asked. I don't think so. No, if no one's got any questions, this webinar has been recorded. So for those that did sort of miss out, feel free to reach out if you've got any questions. Always happy to answer. Oh, just had a question. I'm not familiar with. I just had a question come through about the sunset email marketing strategy. I'm not familiar with the sunset email marketing strategy. You may want to elaborate on that one, Cheyenne. Yeah, maybe that's one that I need to maybe do a bit more investigation into. It's obviously potentially a strategy that you've used before that you've found effective. So yeah, maybe that's something people can investigate, what the sunset email marketing strategy is. I'm not familiar with it, but yeah, could be a useful strategy for Black Friday. Does anyone else have any other questions that they'd like answered about any of the content we've talked about? Just kind of leave it open for a couple of minutes just to see if anyone else has anything coming through. There is always a little bit of a delay between me talking and it going through the stream. So sometimes I just have to wait before I move on to the next one. Okay, doesn't seem to be any other ones, so that's all good. We do have another couple of webinars coming up in the next couple of months. So here we go. Shame's just come back with what it is we use for disengaged customers who have subscribed to newsletters earlier. Yeah, I mean there's a lot of strategies or tactics that you can use to kind of reinvigorate some of your email. I mean the whole email, like we could do a whole webinar on just email marketing and the different tactics that can be used for that. But yeah, there are a lot of different tactics that people can use to reinvigorate disengaged customers, because I mean obviously there's going to be a percentage of your audience that that get the email but then don't actually do anything in terms of don't open it. If they do open it, never click on anything. And so it's important to to try and keep, I mean especially if you've got an email program that you're paying for everyone that's subscribed to it. So you either want people to be engaged customers or move them off your list so that you're not paying so much to have your email program. So but yeah, we'll look at the sunset email marketing strategy, and potentially that could be a topic for another webinar that we do, is looking at email marketing in a bit more detail, I mean, feel free to reach out to us and give us any suggestions on topics that you might want to learn a little bit more about. Because I mean, that's where the next one that we're doing came from, Google Search Console. What's it good for? A good friend, Jason, over at Rocket Spark, sort of said he's getting a lot of his partners asking about Search Console and how to use it, and you know what's it actually good for. So that's our next webinar we're going to be doing on the 25th of October at 1 p.m. Again, always going to be 1 p.m. And then the last one of the year is going to be success tomorrow, plan today. So really just looking at making a plan for 2024. Scary enough as it is on the horizon. So just a bit of a marketing planning session really, where we're going to look really about how you can plan your marketing for next year, and plan some kind of tactics and strategies to make 2024 a good one for you. So if you need any more help, always happy to book a strategy call. Look at what you're doing with Black Friday. If you've kind of got some plans in place but want some more ideas, let's have a chat. Always happy to put some ideas together and see how we might be able to help. If you enjoyed the webinar, we always love reviews. Just head over to review.unbound.nz, pop up a 5-star review and just let us know how you found the webinar, whether it was helpful, what you learned, and so that's us for today, unless anyone else has got some kind of final questions. As I said, the webinar is recorded, so you can always go back and view it again in your own time and pick up those points that we made, and make Black Friday and Cyber Monday a success. Cool. Okay, hopefully you enjoyed that, and have a good day.